Neath the mind's warm embrace, stories unfold, tap into your grace. Artists lay their hearts for us to see. In the Culture Corner where we're all free. Culture Corner, tell your tale today. Voices rising like the dawn's first ray. Culture Corner, pave the path that's bright, bringing dreams alive by the mic's light. Entrepreneurs with visions bold and clear, they chase their dreams without a trace of fear. Sharing wisdom to uplift and inspire. At the Culture Corner, we spark that fire. Culture Corner, tell your tale today. Voices rising like the dawn's first ray. Culture Corner, pave the path that's bright, bringing dreams alive by the mic's light. Listeners tune in from far and wide, drawn to stories where hope can't hide. Bound
Oh, yo, what is up, everybody? It is your girl, Coffee B, and welcome back to another episode of the Culture Corner. Y'all digging that song? Like, that intro song to me is everything. And I hope you like it just as much as I do. I'm going to do a little video to that. Y'all, I know y'all like it. Anyway, y'all, I am so excited today, and I just really can't hold back. Now, y'all know my show. First of all, I just want to say thank you to all for you. Thank you to you for tuning in every week. Like, you show up, you show out, you show me love, and I'm so grateful and happy. Culture Corner has been my baby, so I just want to say thank you guys so much. And I've had some really dope guests, and today is no different. You guys, I'm so excited because today I have the one and only Vavi. Like, and if you that name, you guys, is just so powerful. So welcome to the Culture Corner.
Thank you.
Vavi.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you
so
for
excited.
being here. I'm so excited for you being here because, baby, when I tell you, you are a woman of so many hats, and I feel like I've known you for so long and watching your different transitions with everything that you do, and you still stay true to you, your creativity, your art, your, I don't want to say meekness, but your kindness. Like you're so very gentle and soft through all your phases, and they all just match your energy. So for those who may not know who Vavi is, tell us who Vavi with a V is.
Who am I? I am a mother, first and foremost. I'm a mother of 3. I've been a professional artist for over 15 years. So that includes paintings, gallery art, murals, tattoos, graphic design, which is what I went to college for. And anything that I encourage people to bring me creatively. I like to bring things to life with my vision. I do have a musical background, so that artistry is always cooking in the background right now.
Baby can sing, y'all, okay?
I appreciate it. And then also in the last 6 years, I've taken my art into the mental health and wellness space. So I do champion bridging the gap between creativity and wellness. I come into classrooms. I've been in spaces for elders and all the people of the community pretty much, so we can continue to meet ourselves on a soul level and include art with it.
I love that. So, I mean, this baby, she up here talking with her hands, and I noticed a nice little rock on that hand, baby. We gonna get into more of that later. But I first want to just say congratulations.
Thank you so
I know I told
much.
you in the book and I text you, but I didn't get to say it.
Thank you so
Congratulations on your engagement. We're going to wait a minute because I want to know I want to know a little bit of tea about that engagement, okay?
Yes.
But I just want to say your smile is so bright. And
I'm happy.
And y'all hear that? She said, I'm happy. And when you could just say, I'm happy, oof, that I felt
Truly.
I felt that happiness.
Yeah.
So let's talk about it. You said you grew up. I want to take it back. So you grew up in a musical household.
Yes.
So do you have brothers and sisters?
I do.
Okay.
I have quite a few.
Okay.
I have siblings from my mother and from my father.
So growing up, how was that?
Oh, man. So I was born in North Chicago. And at age 8, I moved to Tennessee. So most of my core memories are down south. And I lived with my mom and my stepfather in Tennessee until 13, which I moved back to Illinois. And that's what landed me back in North Chicago. But also, it's a long time ago, I went to Warren using my dad's address. And, I was just in a mixture of all the things. But through those experiences, I was an athlete, mostly. I didn't really become an artist until my freshman year of high school. But being in the South really sculpted me in that Southern hospitality. That's truly, like I always say, like I resonate with being from the South before anything else, because that's where I learned so much about being kind and being warm and really just Black excellence. That's what I really enjoyed about growing up in Tennessee. So when I came back here, in my freshman year of high school, I had to harness that and hold on to it, through all the mixtures of crowds that I was about. And I was really to myself because I was low-key upset because I didn't want to move back. So we came back here, and that's when I discovered art, because my voice kind of silenced a bit. I was upset. Didn't really, I was in the band. I played the saxophone when I was in Tennessee. So when I came here, I realized like, oh, y'all got to try out. We ain't got to try out down south. Like, I know. If you was good, you was in the front, and if you wasn't that good, you was in the back. That was it. But going to Warren, they made you try out, and I was like, forget this. And I stopped playing sports. I was really rebellious. So I ended up drawing and became that person that everyone came to draw on them. Ironically, I was drawing on people in high school. And my first job was Six Flags, drawing caricatures. So that's when I really learned like, oh, you can make money for this. And it just took off from there. And my family was always supportive of me being the creative person that I am. I was afraid of my voice for a long time. I actually didn't sing until the passing of my grandmother, which was also, I think that was actually my sophomore year. But I sung at her funeral. And that kind of opened everybody's eyes like, oh, she sings too. My family, we sing just because we sing, but not knowing that was something that I wanted to do. So that kind of gave me that push to share my emotions through that way as well. I always hold on to it.
That is amazing. So like, sidebar, like your father was like very well known in the community, singing all the time. So did he ever, how did he embrace your creativity and your art when it came to anything?
My dad is one of I would say my biggest fan, because he was always pushing me to do all the things, and it was so natural to me. My earliest memories was in the backseat of he always had a convertible of some kind, bumping music, and I'm just in it. And he always tells a story about turning it down a little bit, and him and his best friend listening, like, listen, she's singing. And I'm probably like 3 or something. And he always would reference that. So at one point when I was living with him, studio in the basement, we started making music together.
I remember the studio in the basement.
Yeah.
Because we used to, we used to be a part of a band. Like I was a part of a band or something. We used to go over to your house and do recording and things like that. And that was like one of my first core memories of like, dang, your dad's so cool. Like
my dad is a smooth guy.
Very, very smooth. So speaking of that, how do you feel, as a young lady, how important do you feel like it is to have that male in your life, especially like your father? What does that mean to you?
Very important. I feel that it does play a major role in your identity and how you view yourself. There were times where I would doubt how I showed up in the world. And he would always tell me, like, you just got a little extra sprinkle on you. The guy gave you, hold on to that. It's okay. And, kind of giving me that pep talk I needed, because I was always sensitive and I would be around people and sometimes they weren't ready to experience someone so kind, I guess.
Yeah.
And, you know, sometimes people look at, oh, you being phony. And I'm like,
why do you think that about it? Like, I've
oh,
gotten that too. Like, when you're too nice, they're like, oh, you can't be nice all the time. Like,
Yeah.
I'm just,
I don't know. I
nice.
tell everyone, I'm like, I've always feel like my inner child has been very healthy. And I'm like, I want to play. Like, that's like my vibe when I come around people. I'm ready to play. And me being an artist, I would always say, come draw with me, come paint with me. I don't know how. I'm like, that don't matter.
Right.
Like, just come vibe with me. And I've just always been that way. But honestly, my dad's like that. And my mom's like that. They've always been the ones that are humorous and embracing everyone and loving. That's all I know.
She always gives me, every time I see her, she gives me like the biggest hug. Just
I love
so sweet. And I love that you can embrace that, because I think like on the flip side of that, some people go through damaging things that it can make them nice or mean. Like some people, like for me, I had to come to the conclusion like my niceness was seeking validation.
Yeah.
Or like seeking something I was missing, like friendship or
wanting to belong.
Wanting to belong.
I resonate with that too. I even got to a point where I almost resented how kind I was. Like, I wanted to be mean. I wanted to be a little more tougher around people, but then I was being a tryhard and it wasn't me. And I'm like, okay, I just want to come outside.
It just didn't work.
I'm just going to stay
inside. And it just don't come out right. Like, I'm like, Frizzles, God, fucking, like, it just, because just those, I be wanting to be
gotta
so I want to pop off every night.
But I did experience certain points where I was like triggered and angry, and the things that did come out, ears getting hot. And, you know, I was a hothead for a little bit. Nobody would ever guess that. But I was experiencing those things and I did not like it. I hated the way that I felt afterwards, like what I would say, or, you know, if I knew that I played a part in making someone else feel small or whatever, even if they were in the wrong, I still felt bad. Wow. And I just had to figure out, you know, later in life that you get to choose. You choose your interactions. You choose who you're talking to. Even if they're close, you can create boundaries, but that takes time to learn.
So as you went from Tennessee back here, were you naturally like drawn? You said that you weren't able to like, you lost your voice. So that pushed you into your artistry. So where did you start like in high school, besides writing on people, drawing on people? Like, were you like that show out in art class? Or
funny story, I almost failed art.
Wait.
Because
do tell.
But I remember we had a project. We had to do a portrait of ourselves. I'm abstract, so I had all types of things going on, and the teacher was the football coach. So I don't know how that worked. I don't know. I don't remember him being artistic. I don't know, but he didn't vibe with that, and that was something that also contributed to that rebelliousness I had in high school. I'm like, you ain't even rocking with me, and this is all I got. This is all I want to do. So I actually had a creative writing teacher at the time that embraced me, because I'm also a poet. So I would write and write and write, and then I would just doodle in like biology or something. And I started keeping sketchbooks at that time, and that was just my saving grace through high school.
Have you ever saved do you have any of your old sketches?
Yeah, thankfully. In my grandmother's house, she kept a lot of them, and some of them are still on the walls. Like, she's framed them and they're up. So I got like a mini gallery.
Keep some things from high school, and I wish I cannot find them.
You gotta look for
at these like boxes.
Yeah.
And I used to have like old letters that people would write, and then just different. I used to write books in high school. I could not tell you.
That's classic.
No, I wish I could find those things. So you said at 13 you discovered your voice.
Yeah.
From 13, what did you do forward with your voice?
Hide it still. Like, I would make music to myself. And it wasn't until, so I went to college in 2009. I went back to Tennessee. I'm like, I gotta go back home. That's where I saw home was. And it didn't last long. I got homesick from my mother, and got in a fake argument with my roommate. I'm like, oh, that's it. I'm going home. So when I came home,
why you brush your teeth?
Right. That was it for me. So I came home, and then I started doing mixtape covers and album art for a lot of people. Wow. So with that, I was naturally around a lot of musicians, and they actually were using my space and my laptop to record. together. So one day they leave and I'm like, I'm really brainy at times when it comes to programs. So I just kind of figured out how to use GarageBand, and I recorded one night and it was late, and the next morning I listened to it, like I did that. I mixed and everything. I'm like, Mom, look. And at the time she was managing artists. So my mom leaked my music on her SoundCloud.
Now she leaked it on SoundCloud.
She leaked my music on SoundCloud. And I was so like, what are you doing? But after that, I needed that push to say, oh, it's safe. It's okay. It's all right. You can share what you're working on. And at that time, I needed it because that was the first time I could say that I recognized depression. I never really knew before that what that felt like. But during that time, I experienced depression, and doing music was deeper than art for me, or visual art for me. Like I had to do music to get through it.
In 2009, you said you experienced depression, or around
it was like
that
2010.
Time. 2010. Yeah. Was that because you moved? Tell us a little bit more about
I got to a place where I came back home to Illinois and I felt out of place. I didn't feel like I really fit, and what people wanted from me were services. It wasn't friendship. It wasn't connection for real. And I guess I can say I probably wasn't even giving them a lot to go off of because I was so to myself. So I started feeling out of place, and there was a darker feeling going on, and I didn't know what it was, but I knew that it didn't feel right. And I need to get it out. So I would do music. I would walk around outside. I would call my grandma, pray for me. Like I was going through the motions of what's happening. And now that I look back on it, I was changing. I was growing. It was unknown. It was uncomfortable. And me trying to cling on to what I thought I was made it harder.
What do you feel brought you out? Or how was that journey getting out of that spat of depression?
Honestly, at that time, my mother and I really reached a new level in our relationship because we started to meditate together. At the time, Oprah had an app. And on the app, Deepak Chopra used to do these meditations where you just listen. Man, it really was that pivot for us during that time, because when you're around a lot of people, especially like in the music industry and things, there's a lot of energy you absorb. And I didn't have that knowledge back then, but now I look back on it, I'm like, I was around people all the time. So I probably didn't even know who's and what I was carrying when it came to emotions and things. So meditating just slowed everything down. We used to sit in the sunlight because the sunlight was on her bed, and then we would sit on it every day and do our meditation. And that just kind of brought more light into the situation that we were both going through. She was going through her own thing. I was going through mine. And it just gave us something to ground on. Nothing was perfect, but it just kind of let us go through each day more aware of ourselves. And we talked to each other. I don't know if I would have been able to take to it better if I didn't have her going through it with me.
So as a creative, you wear a lot of creative hats.
Yeah.
How do you balance it all?
I'm actually just figuring that out. And it's been so long. I got to a point where I had to learn to stop looking for external validation and external sources to give me the answers to what my inner questions were, because everyone told me, focus on one thing. Focus on one thing.
I hate that. Especially as a creative. Like, as a creative, how do you focus on one thing when your mind is like, well, I do this, but then on the same time, people want me to do this, and I can do this. Like,
especially when adulting comes into play, because you got to make money. So there were things that was serving me financially that wasn't serving me on a soul level. And I was just having to get through it. But after a while, especially with motherhood in the mix, I had to learn to get myself together first. Then I got to choose, because getting myself together means my schedule was more flexible. I had more clarity in my mind. Clarity came like, okay, I'm not like spiraling and grabbing onto something creative to make me feel better. Now it's, okay, what am I doing today? I'm going to spend some time doing that. And I can't wait to get to that. Like, it's more of a positive situation instead of, I got to do something to feel better. It was so many moments of learning how can I operate with these tools? Because God gave me these tools. It wasn't to be sporadic and spiraling out. It was something to give me peace and then give it to other people. That was another key. I kept creating for everyone else. And after a while, nothing gave me peace. So I had to kind of just push pause and stop and really and I write a lot. So I literally was just writing out all type of things from journaling emotionally to making a map. Okay, I do this. Okay, what quarter can I do what? Just really talking to myself and letting myself be messy through it instead of trying to find that perfect fit, because there's no such thing. The only constant we have is change. So I had to allow myself to flow in it. And once I started incorporating God more and having more of a spiritual relationship with my art, it started to make more sense. And the chatter around me just got quiet. And I kind of showed up better.
So and I'm only bringing this up because it's been repeated and repeated over and over again on my show right here on this couch, and that's writing, right? Mm-hmm. And when I hear that, I know I hear God talking to me like, baby girl, write. Mm-hmm. And I've been so frustrated with writing. Mm-hmm. And so I started writing, but it's more so, it turned into more so like a venting. So like on Facebook, I would do healing and high volume, and that would be my writing outlet, because sitting there with a book made me feel like I was doing work, versus I'm saying whatever I want to say on Facebook, and I'm gonna leave it alone. Yeah. But from your perspective, what is the importance of writing and journaling?
I feel like we carry a lot of things that we don't know that we're carrying. We might even feel it and not know what it is particularly. But I know that when I write, there's certain things that I know my subconscious is letting out that I probably wouldn't have been able to do if I didn't write it out first. Or now, shout out to Yashin. He put me on years ago of just turn on your camera and just talk it out. That's a form of journaling too, where you might just need to ramble it out because something's in here that needs to be said. So if I'm journaling, there are times where my handwriting changes up, or I'll come back to something I wrote and I'm like, who wrote that? I don't recognize it, but that's something that you have to release and you have to let go. If you say you want to grow, or if you want to release something, or if you want blessings, you can't do that holding it.
You got to release
it. You got to let it
out. What form it is. Because I like being able to talk like this. And I been wanting to, the whole point of Culture Corner was to talk. Yeah. And I tell people all the time, when you come, as a guest, I don't want you to feel just like a guest. I want it to feel like, yo, sit back, relax, and let's really talk and have a conversation, because you never know, like you said, that whole subconscious, something you might get so comfortable that something real might come out.
That part.
Yeah. And so that's the feeling that I get. And even from my perspective, we say things, or you go through things that might trigger, certain emotions, and that's you getting it off your chest,
Be human. Yeah. Let that off. Yeah.
Oh, and the way the way Vavi speaks, she always just speaks so calm that you have no choice but to tell her your whole life story. Seriously. Yeah, it's just so much that you can say to a kind heart, because you just feel, feel that energy. Yeah. And I don't know. And I do want to talk more about energy and things like that, because you just never know what you're around. So as a poet, what first inspired you to pick up a pen and be like, you know what? I just want to write this into a poem.
Ooh, I would have to say there's two phases, I will say. Okay. When I was a kid, and it's funny because I didn't realize this until my children do this. They write me letters. Really? A lot. And then I had the nerve to say something you can talk to me. But then here comes my mom, remember you wrote me this? Or my grandma the other day, this is a card you wrote me. And I'm like, wow, I drew a little rose on it, and I'm getting deep. And, that was my love language. And then when I started going through real life things, heartache, I had to write. I would be writing and crying, writing and praying, writing and singing. But that was just my way to heal and to be real about it, because there were times where I'm around other people and I'm putting on a brave face and they have no idea, what I'm going through. But when I write it down, at least I feel seen. I know what I'm feeling. I know what I'm going through.
So talking about your children, do you see any creative spurts in them? And let's talk a little bit about it.
Oh my goodness. So I have 3. And they all, I call them my boobacoos. I've been calling them that since the first one was born. They like to freestyle. Ooh. So because I've been around music forever, that's just the environment they're in. And they will easily rap, sing. My son, give him anything. He's making beats and doing all that. And at first it was like, oh, that's cute. But there'd be moments where I'm like, what you say? Or my youngest, she says, I'm going to do a speech. So she could rap and do all that stuff. She's a Gemini, by the way. So she got that. But she's in this space now. My mom calls her little Jasmine Crockett, but she gets her microphone, puts it on the stand. I'm going to do a speech. And she speaks to the people. That's what she said. I'm speaking to the people. And she be saying some real stuff. And I'm like, it's deep in her. So
she bring up a phone. Is that what they say?
It's crazy. It's at the point now where I have to make space for them every day to do something creative, or else they're cranky, they moody, they're clashing.
What do you do?
So when we wake up, instantly I put on pan drums on the YouTube. That's like the new craze. It's everywhere.
And what's pan drums?
So it's this round drum made out of like a steel material, and it gives such a beautiful essence to it. I recently bought one, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get on it. My son, he'd been playing it his whole life, and it's so therapeutic. So it just creates a cleansing in the area and in the room, and they just already know what it is. They wake up and we get on the floor, we meditate, we clear the mind, and creativity just rushes in. And my oldest daughter, she sketches, she draws, she paints, so she'll get into that, and she'll use that as her way to journal. I encourage them to journal because they done been through their own little, situations from school, or, situations with their dad or whatever they're going through deeply, that I encourage that, because even though it's cute, it's something deep that they're learning. But by the time they're adults, they'll know how to regulate themselves. So,
and that's them getting to know themselves
very much. So
early age.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Oh yeah, it's wild what they will tell me, and it's like, they're kids. So there's moments where I'm like, oh my God, like what's going on? But it'll be a moment where they'll show me that they are receiving, they are learning themselves.
Because some parents will be like, oh, you ain't gonna do nothing. You too young. Da 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 da.
Don't question it, man.
You don't know what they're going through.
They're deep.
Yeah.
Kids are deep. And I always say they're the closest to God. We're born, and then we grow, and we can potentially get further and further away from God, but they fresh. They're connected. You just have to remind them and give them the area to feel that for themselves,
So you're a tattoo artist?
Yeah.
Do you know, that is one fun fact that I knew, but I did not know. No. How long have you been doing tattooing?
Oh, man. So 3 years. It was for 3 years that I tattooed without telling anyone. I was like behind the scenes playing with a machine. My son had to be probably 1 or 2. He'll be 10 in October. But pandemic was when I really took it professionally. I was in school to be a medical assistant. And I had just graduated, got my externship, then pandemic hit, and I'm like, I can't do this environment. And my mom was like, well, you've been tattooing, you might as well do it now. I'm like, she's the one that always end up pushing me in. But I'm glad I did, though, because it really showed me that, like, what are you scared of? Like, it really was me just holding myself back. And I tattooed myself first because I wanted to feel what the needle feels like and all that. I did my thigh. It's a woman's face on my thigh. I used to get tattoos when I was going through things and angry and whatever feelings I was feeling. So in the house, if I felt overwhelmed and stimulated or whatever, I had the kids go do their thing, and I put out my kit and I'm just tattooing myself. Crazy. But thankfully I knew what I was doing. It's crazy when you think about it.
Tattoos, so that's so much.
I tattooed and I started traveling. I went to Philly, and then I had an experience in Philly where I needed to get back home and I didn't have any money. So I ended up tattooing and making over $500 real quick. And I was like, And I was in an environment where there was some people that was doubting me and saying these things that could have got to my head, and in their face, I was able to show up for myself. Ooh. And that just did something different for me, so tattooing became a love language, really. And it took off financially, but I had to scale it back because I'm very sensitive to energy. So I can't tattoo everybody. And it was one of those things where I'm like, I don't want a long list of people knocking on my door to tattoo. I want very specific people and energy. And I based it around wellness. At the time, I was going by Tattoo Yogi. So I was teaching wellness while I was tattooing. And it was really beautiful. And I'm actually gearing up to bring it back. But this time it's more me. So.
Okay. So you just started something new.
I did.
And that's the TRST radio.
Yeah.
Tell us more about it.
Oh, my goodness. So I actually went to school for audio production.
Okay.
And that was in 2023. And I graduated and got imposter syndrome.
Girl. What school did you go to?
I went to Los Angeles Film School. So I went online, and that played a part in the imposter syndrome because I'm a hands-on learner.
Yeah.
So they sent me all the things. I'm doing everything. I graduate, and then it's time to put myself out there. My mom was like, sign up for this and, go to this radio station. I'm like, okay.
Will do.
And I just kind of did the Homer Simpson and went back into the bushes.
No, I mean, I get that. I went to school for for mass media productions.
Yeah.
And after I graduated, I was just like, okay.
Yeah.
What do you do now? Like,
And when nobody's gonna do it for you.
Right.
That was the biggest
Especially
thing.
in that industry.
Yeah.
No one's gonna do it for you.
Yeah. And I kind of did it under the radar. Like, I said I graduated, but once you quiet, ain't nobody gonna come looking for you. So, that I did that for a while where I just made music in my basement and it's kind of, tweak things here and there. And I thought in my mind, I'm gonna reach out to such and such or such and such and try to get a mentorship or whatever.
3 months later.
Nothing. And I will say I did try one studio in Chicago, but the only thing about that is, coming from being an artist that was making like mixtape covers and album art and all that stuff, usually it becomes a male dominated space.
Oh yeah.
And I had put on a mask and pretended so long to fit into male dominated spaces that I knew that just wasn't the way I wanted to do this time around. I like to create a soft, safe space and figure that out as I go. I had to do it myself.
Like I when I tell you, I feel you 100% because even back then, and I graduated in 2000, and it's like crazy because it was a male dominated space then.
Yeah.
And I mean, I remember I had somebody come up to me, like I had just got my tongue pierced. And one of the guys at the radio station and I was working at a well-known radio station. And they were like, do you pleasure men? And I was like, wait, what?
First of all, it's none of your business.
Right. And I'm just like, no, what are you saying?
Why would you ask that?
And so he was just like, well, that's what they're going to think. Like, and he was like, that's what they're going to think. You're in a male dominated space.
Yeah.
Take that out. And from that day on, I took it out, and I'm like, dang, I should have kept it in because
I had one too. I wish I would have kept mine.
And the reason I say I should have kept it, even though I know I shouldn't have kept it,
for yourself,
is no, not just for myself, because it was a male dominated space. Sometimes we got to use what we got for a pork chop. Like we have to, back then, and even now, like some women are so prone to using their sex appeal or their sexuality in order to get into those male dominated spaces. Yeah. So sometimes I'm like, dang, if I would have just kept it, it would have gave me an edge. Not to say it would have been like totally sexualized, but it would have made me a little bit different, versus like I took it out and then I kind of like faded to being regular again. Like and I was always plus size, so faded to be like that regular plus size chick or whatever. So I totally feel you because it's definitely a male dominated space. But and shout out to all the women in radio and in podcasting and things like that, because you have to learn how to become yourself.
Facts.
And so is that the space that you're in now?
That is exactly where I'm in now.
Tell us.
And that even is the staple, TRST radio, trust. I had to trust myself. I didn't trust myself enough to be in those spaces at that time. And I'm glad I wasn't, because I could have became anything, it could have went any kind of way. This time around, I'm the one making the choices. I'm leading my decision with my soul, my spirit, and I'm allowing it to flourish the way it's supposed to be authentically. That's my biggest thing, leading with authenticity and creating a safe space. So I feel so at home, literally, because I'm at home in my studio, but I'm allowing my life to be said through my voice, and I'm not allowing anything from external validation to impede on what this is and what God's leading me to do through this.
Mm-hmm. So you have something else, and it's Just okay,
Yeah.
Just Code.
Just Code.
Now, it was created in 2023.
Yeah.
And now you're bringing it into fruition.
Yes.
Tell us more about it.
So Just Code. Code is a reference to formula. So it's a wellness brand I created based off of your inner formula. What do you need to be well? And exploring what that looks like, whether it's through arts, whether it's through talk therapy, whatever that would look like. So I create events through Just Code that highlight stillness. So you come, you be still, and you receive. And it's a different flavor every time. And I like the mysteriousness of it because I get to be creative, use my background in production and all the things. I'm newly into using sound bowls, pan drums, tuning forks, the healing modalities that us as Black people really didn't have access to for a long time. And now it's like, what's that? Mm-hmm. Well, I would love to introduce you to it, so I create these events to allow kids, women, men, grandpas, grandmas, the whole family unit to understand that we can harmonize with ourselves and our body without thinking so much. You really get out of your mind and into your body. So Just Code just is that space where it's not so serious, but you come into that safe space to unpack what might have been super serious to you, emotionally, and you get to feel what healing looks like.
So I want to talk about that, right? So you talk about a lot of healing, but at the same time you believe in God. But then at the same time you believe in like meditation and the sound bowls and things like that. Most of us, like as African Americans, be like, oh, you can't do both and things like that.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts, and how do you separate and bring them together?
Yeah. Well, I was born into a Baptist church Christian family. My grandfather is actually a pastor of a Baptist church. And the biggest thing I can say is, instead of saying but, I say and. Because if we truly believe that God is the God of all, then how can we push aside these healing tools that can help us? We're just going to push it away because we don't believe in it, when we were actually a part of this generational separation from all the things that is our birthright. I have gotten to this space, especially through motherhood, of really giving myself what I deserve. So if I come across something, especially because I love knowledge, I love to read, I love to research. So if I get to a point in my life where I'm getting this stream of information and it's not benefiting me to the capacity that I need to be my full self, I shouldn't keep seeking knowledge. That doesn't make sense to me. So once I started embracing spiritual science and allowing that to unfold and really doing my research, because we have generations of master teachers that come from all types of areas of the world that are Black people telling us about what we weren't taught. So I'm just an open-minded person, and I believe that God isn't going to bring me to something and leave me. God's with me through all of it.
Yeah. And
being made in the image of, and then shying away and acting like I don't have access. God didn't create me to do that.
And so you talk about it brought you to people, and now you've stepped into life coaching. How do you incorporate your life coaching? What brought you to become a life coach? And what are some of the things that you do within
I've
that?
been running from life coaching for a long time. But in the last year, being in a relationship with someone who's very present and very supportive. One day he was like, we watched the same podcast, Jay Shetty. And he has this segment where he shows that he actually has a life coach certification school. I never said anything to him, but I always was thinking it. And then I would shut myself down like, nah, you can't do that. You can't do that. And one day he's like, why are you not doing that? You should do that. Y'all got the same vibe, whatever. And I had just gotten blessed with the funds. So I signed up. And as I signed up, there was a whole world of life coaches from all different parts of the world. I'm talking, there's a man from Australia affirming me like, I need what you got. And I'm like, dang, I'm already going through, being able to think bigger than, my immediate community of what I'm capable of. And now I have someone from the other side of the world saying that they like my perspective.
How do you handle the energy that comes from that? And I'll say this, right, because I've been thinking about stepping into grief, like not as of right now, but I've been, talking to different people. Like people have reached out to me because they see the way how I handle or how they perceive that I handle grief and things like that. And so how do you handle taking on those different energies?
You know what? I actually just had to revisit how I do that. I had to learn to make space for myself. And when I make space for myself, my cup is full. And then I make room for others. And when I'm done, I go and I actually tend to myself again, making sure I'm cleansing my energy. I'm clearing my mind. I'm watching something funny. Like I'm getting myself back into my home base. And if I'm not able to have space for others, I recognize it and I honor that too. So you got to be real.
And I think about it like this because like, I won't say I've been looking, I think it's been coming to me. And I'll say because Facebook, them ads just be popping up. Facebook be knowing that
you open
single,
one thing on your phone.
Or you say one thing, like I've talked about grief a lot. All of a sudden I see these ads like, become a grief counselor. That's what I can do that.
Yeah.
Yes, I can't. No.
Yeah.
And it's like, or I get like, and I don't know why I'm getting these dating apps. Y'all can Facebook miss me with all the dating apps. I'm okay.
Love heals.
One day we're going to talk about the love healing because, baby, that's one thing. Woo. But okay, so how does your own life experience guide you to helping others?
Ooh. One of the biggest things that I lead with is that quote that we learned in church. I don't look like what I've been through.
That's a good one.
That almost made me angry at one point in my life because no one's checking on the strong friend.
No.
You look fine, you fine. But I wasn't. I've been through a lot. I have experienced more than what a lot of people would assume just by looking at me, or even the way I deal with my children. They would assume that my children haven't been through anything. But that was work. I put in a lot of work to, in a healthy way, isolate myself. And what I did in my isolation worked. I got results from the work that I put in. And I'm noticing that because we live in a microwave society and all the things, people will expect results without doing the work. So I like to do like a medicine and the candy effect with my art and with my approach to things. Like I'm telling you the facts of what got me here, but maybe I can razzle dazzle a little bit so you don't feel so overwhelmed by the process. Or maybe your perspective needs some shifting to where you don't look at it as work all the time, because it's not just all work. It is joy. Finding joy when you're sad. Yeah. That's a real process because happy is temporary. Yeah. But joy, when you can find that, that's a whole new level. And there's always a new level. The ceiling becomes the floor constantly in my life. And me learning how to navigate that helped me not be perfect, but know that wellness is practice. It's just practice.
So in your first episode of TRST, you talked about settling, right? And I want to talk about explain to me how settling and not even just relationships, because like you said, you wear so many different hats and people are just like, pick one thing. But what happens when you settle? Like if you were to settle for just being an artist, you would never touch tattoos. You would never let's talk about settling for a minute. How can that affect your mental and how do you get through that settling thought process?
I think once I realized that settling was me abandoning myself, I was able to at least slow down and take a look at what it is I was choosing and what was I settling for and why. Because there's a lot of unworthiness that we already are born with generationally. So we have to figure that out. What does that look like? What do I really want? And why do I think I can't have that? And what is required to get what I want? Sometimes you got to sacrifice. Yeah. You got to stop showing up in this space and go in this space. You got to talk to this person and stop talking to them people. Like it takes actual work, but I always tell my kids this, I put it in the best way that I can. Like when you do just a little bit, God's watching. Like, you don't have to do everything, but do a little bit and be consistent.
Yeah.
Because how can it be any type of momentum?
If it's not consistent.
You got to be consistent. Plant that seed and keep doing it. So when it comes to settling, you're going to start getting a new taste. You're not going to like the same things if you're consistent. You're going to feel away. Like, there's a little part of me that gets a little, all right.
Right.
I don't want that no more because that was the old me. The new me needs this. Yeah. And whoever don't like it, oh, well, I like this now.
And consistency feels good.
It does.
Like with, and I'll be personal, like with this show, for instance, I've been consistent and I'm really not, because I've done so many things from like managed artist to being one myself to just doing certain things for other people and things like that. It's hard to keep consistency because you do so many things. But when it's something that you do that's yours, it feels so good.
Yeah.
It's like working out. Like, when you're consistent, I haven't been consistent, but I'm just, that's an example.
You got
to
build that muscle, that spiritual muscle.
Yeah.
And this is one thing I do share in life coaching as well. Main character energy. Become your own star player. When you become your star player, that's who you're serving every day. And check your posture, your heart posture, like what's your intentions? Because it's not like you just curving everybody and you're being mean or rude or anything like that. You're prioritizing yourself and then everybody else connected to you will benefit.
I like that because in order for anything to grow, you got to pay attention to it. And that means paying attention to yourself. You got to water it. You got to tend to it. Take care of it.
Enjoy it. Enjoy it.
So, back to this ring, honey. So I want to know this, like, so if we could just talk a little bit, girlfriend, how did we meet this love of your life? First of all, you guys are absolutely cute. So I want to know how we met, where we've been, and
it's so funny. We met at the chiropractor.
I love it. Shout out to Chiro one.
Right. It was though. It was though. And it just so happened every time we would bump into each other, I would have that thing on where it was like almost like Frankenstein. It was wrapped around my head, and I'm just like, "Don't look at me." And he started laughing and looking. I'm like, I said, "Don't look at me." And it was just over and over. And I guess like our phones are pinging, so eventually he's on my Facebook, and I'm like,
"That's so crazy."
And I was the first person whose DMs I've ever slid in before. Ever. I've never did that before. But I slid in the DMs because he said something about dancing or something. And it was so lame. I'm like, yeah, we could battle or something like something goofy. And next thing you know, we're inseparable.
That was amazing. So tell us about some things that you guys did to get here. Like, did he and I want to talk about it only because like sometimes you gotta teach people how to treat you, right?
Facts.
And so like did you guys go on dates? Like,
I love that I'm able to tell this story because this is the first serious relationship where I felt that I was reciprocated for the energy that I gave. So, coming out of a lot of turbulence, when we started talking, this was the first time that I said, I don't want to blend into a relationship on, accidentally land together. Oh, we together? Like, I don't want that. I need you to ask me when you're ready. No pressure. But if you want to date me, you got to ask me to be your girlfriend. So,
you better
and it was one of them things where I'm like, I really don't care what your answer is. I'm doing this for me, because if I'm open to dating, I need to approach this better. So, I had a poetry night. And he came with me, and then he took me to PF Chang's after. And next, he asking me, and I'm like, "Oh, you listened? Okay, cool, very intentional." And that was actually a word that we used throughout the courting stage because he was in therapy on his own, doing his own thing. I'm like, "Oh, I like that," and I'm already really analytical and aware, and so we would have conversations, and it would be very intentional. And before I knew it, we moving in together, and him and my mama cool, and we're going on trips, and I'm meeting his family, and I have a birthday party, and I'm thinking like I don't have birthday parties, so my mom was like, yeah, we're gonna do it up. And I had 2 outfits, and I'm just doing me whole time. That was my surprise engagement. I'm like, not y'all plotting behind my back, but
girl,
it's wild.
Videos
I was shocked. I didn't see so many people have that video. I never saw myself being in that moment. So, shout out to you, babe. Thank you for letting me have that be my core memory. And my children. My children got to see a man court me correctly, treat me with love, and, propose to me. So I'm thankful.
That is beautiful. And once again, I am so happy for you. How's the wedding planning going?
That's a lot. I know that he's always wanted a destination wedding, and I never thought I'd be getting married. So he got more plans than I do. So we're going to go ahead and go in that direction. But I'm really just enjoying being engaged, to be honest. Like, it feels good to know that the work that I put in to get to know someone and let them know me genuinely, and showing up and being authentic in a relationship is scary. It's hard. This is cute, but I'm the type of person where I don't want to put on a show.
Yeah.
If we weren't good, I'm not going to act like we're good and post pictures and do all that. I'm real raw and authentic across the board. So I had to allow someone to see how sensitive I am, and how I handle things, and how I don't like to be spoken to, and what I will say, all the things, but it's all led with love. And this was just the first time I got to see an example of a Black man who knows how to feel, and knows how to listen, and knows how to show up and be there. And he's mindful, he meditates, does all that stuff too. And, he's just that guy. I love him.
Oh my gosh. You better love him, friend. Oh my God. You're so cute. Like,
my babe.
I just see you in a whole new light. Like, even from last year, once again, I never got the chance to really just say thank you for showing up for me when I needed you the most.
Yeah.
You came over a few times, you called me, text me, like, the way you showed up was amazing. And I just say thank you so much, because love isn't just it's in the relationship that you have, but it's not just like boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, things like that. So I'm so glad to see your smile and your happiness, even from then to now, because even then, like, you were showing up for me when you were going through some things, or when you were trying to figure things out. And so I'm just so thankful for you for that. With you being in that love, what do you feel the difference is between, like, love that's safe and love that's settling? Because sometimes we can settle for love and be like, oh, this is love. Even in friendships or other kind of relationships. So what do you feel the difference is between, like, a safe love and a settling love?
I feel like a safe love brings you back to yourself. A safe love allows you to take the uncomfortable moments with more confidence. And, when you're settling and you getting comfortable, your spirit ain't settled. You feel that. So I've been in situations where I definitely was in my comfort zone out of fear. So fear and love can't exist at the same time. So I wasn't even loving myself, in that. So in a safe love, it's, oh, this is fun. I look forward to waking up and seeing what I'm about to get into, and knowing that if I do this, do that, whatever, it's a safe space to do that. There's no judgment. It's, oh, okay. Even if there's no understanding of the thing, it's just like, whatever, I'm here. Like, we're just here, and I feel that on a personal level, I actually really intentionally figured out how to love myself before we ever even met. It took me, I think it was a little over a year. My mom was newly married, and I met her husband, who actually has a job in mental health. And at the time, everybody's masked up. And we went to the museum, and he'll always bring up this story. He's like, when I first met you, I remember I said, are you okay? And it was just my eyes, and I started crying. I'm like, it's that moment where don't ask me that question. So that happened. And at that point, I learned to slide down the wall crying, do all that, journal till your heart is empty, figure out all those moments. And then when I started to coast and really, like, find my way, that's when I met my fiance. and I was still a mess. And I just learned to be more authentic about me being a mess. And thankfully, he was a safe space for that.
So you feel like you can love through your healing.
Oh,
and
yeah.
You're worthy of
it
I think
helps.
that's the space where I have been in. Like, am I worthy enough to let somebody love me? Can I let somebody? Is it okay? Because some people are like, no, wait till you're completely healed.
There's no such thing as completely healed. No. I just cried the other day while cooking because a song brought something up and I'm like, and I'm just like, I'm still at the point where I go back and I hug her.
Yeah.
The version of me that was going through it in silence and all the things. Like, I reached a new level of understanding how hurt I was. Yeah. And it still can feel like that moment. And that's what made me cry, because I'm like, I literally felt that pain as if it was the day. But my awareness allowed me not to identify with the emotion as it being me. Like, I'm not sad. I felt sad, so I went through that. So what do you say
to somebody who might be scared to love again after a heartbreak, or even like grief or anything like that?
I would say surrender. Every day when you wake up, surrender to the possibility of being loved. Like, don't hold so tight of thinking you know everything. You don't know everything, but you know how you feel. So if you can sit with how you feel and really be at peace with it, that acceptance is the first step to releasing. You can't release something you ain't accepted yet. So if you accept it and you release it energetically, I believe we attract what we are looking for. So if you're making room by releasing, that room's going to be filled with exactly what you need. And that's where faith comes back in. So full circle, talking about all the things that I've explored as far as my spirituality, it built my faith. Because what is faith when it's not tested? I had to have my faith tested and have experiences where I showed up for myself, where can't nobody, whether you in the church or not, tell me about my relationship with God. Because God provided things for me that helped me. If I can get on this yoga mat and breathe it out and feel so much better after,
He gave you those resources.
Thank you, God. You gave that to me. So if I'm waking up and I feel empty and I'm asking for that space to be filled, let me go in there and see what hurts. Let me tend to that. And the whole time, you don't know, God pushing somebody closer and closer right to you. And then you'll be ready, because you're not going to hurt that person by being hurt.
Yeah.
You'll be able to embrace your hurts and say, well, this is what hurts. And they might, this what hurts too.
Right.
And y'all bring it together, and it's a safe space to do that. And then you recognize when it's not safe. When you know you don't like something about somebody, I'm going to just deal with it. No, you're worthy. You don't like that? Express that. See how they respond to that. And if it ain't that. That means, you're not the one.
Right.
Move out the way. Somebody else is coming.
Oh, that is good. You said you can't get rid of something that you haven't accepted yet.
Yeah.
That is good.
That took some time. And like, don't rush yourself. Never rush yourself through a process. You might miss something. And like on the radio show, the tagline is unpack it and donate it for the good of someone else. So if you're going through something, take a moment and really feel it, because it's going to come back full circle. You could say, well, this is what I got from it. And somebody's listening. Somebody needs to hear that too, so.
I love that. So as a mother, a creative, a life coach, how do you teach your clients and even your kids about resilience and and chasing their dreams?
I'm still learning. Showing up, being authentic is like my main thing. Like, if you're not being real, then who are you trying to be? You can't become who you really want to be if you don't know who you are. And who you are is not about being perfect.
Yeah.
Like, embrace not being perfect and allow it to just be what it is, because you're going to match the frequency of whatever you need, and everything you have is coming. If it's not here, it's coming. There is no lack. I feel like us as Black people gotta get out of that scarcity mindset on multiple levels. So a lot of it's talking about financial, but energetically, you're born worthy.
Yeah.
There is no unworthiness until you decide. So you can literally unpack that and receive whatever it is. And you're going to start seeing it. There's confirmations. If you're looking for it, you're going to find it.
Yeah. And it's like we're some of us were taught like to keep things in or keep things within the family and things like that. When God gave us people to talk to, like there are therapists, there are therapists. Everyone is not out to get you, so it's okay to talk because you never know who you might connect with.
And that journal is your safe space as well. You know, when you're writing those things down and unpacking those things, there are confirmations waiting for you around those things as well. Whether it's something you find on YouTube, somebody posts on your timeline, somebody call you. I just thought about you. Girl, I just said that to myself when I was journaling. Like those moments are God moments.
Yeah. And like I told you, before we cut the cameras on, like shout out to Ashia, because I wanted to talk to you. And when I say your name is in spaces that you just never know, she brought up your name and she was just like, yo, she has something new that she's working on. And I can't wait to experience that. Like a sound bath or something like that.
Yeah, meditation sessions.
I don't believe I've ever tried it. Like, I always want to do like a pool meditation kind of thing.
I want to be the person that people can be introduced to it by, because I have a creative sauce to it. It's not what everybody thinks. You just sound and no, it's not entirely that. And sometimes, like, I have to tell my children, like, go grab your coloring book. That's your meditation for today. Like, it can be anything. Customize it to yourself.
Okay. So I'm gonna pause really quickly, you guys. First of all, I love everything about you, Miss Vavi. But if you are looking to be a guest here on the Culture Corner, let me know. Hit me up, DM me. If you are also looking to have your own show, if you need any sound, any staging, any lighting, if you have a production coming up and you need videography, you guys look no further than True Conglomerate. They are the best production company around here in these parts and beyond. Look them up, True Conglomerate. And once again, if you are looking to be a guest, let me know. Let's talk about you. Let's get to know you. Also, if you have anything coming up and you want to promote your company, your brand, an event, let me know. DM me. Let's talk about it. I want to do some fun little tidbits here.
Come on.
So, as a performer, or artist and things like that, would you rather it be in studio or performance?
Performance.
Ooh, okay. Morning person or night owl?
Morning person.
Painting in silence or painting to music?
Painting to music.
Beach vacation or city vibes?
Depends the time of the year.
That's a hard one.
Lately, it's been city vibes.
Okay. Love poems or love song?
Both. Poems become songs all the time.
I'll let her get away with that one. I'll let her get away with that one. Okay, so if people remember nothing else from you today or anything you said, what's one thing you want them to take away from today?
I like to say, if it's not okay, it's not. In the end, it'll be okay. So if it's not okay, it's not the end.
If it's not okay, it's not the end.
So in the end, it'll be okay. So if it's not okay, it's not the end.
I need you to write that down. Make that a Facebook status.
Yeah.
So
I came across that like a couple months ago, and that really hit, especially for me in my personal life. You got to wake up. You got to keep going because you never know what God has for you. Just keep going.
So you guys, I also want to show you this artwork she gave me. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it is absolutely beautiful. When I say that she is such a creative, I'm going to have to, I need the other version so I can post it on my page. But this is absolutely beautiful. You have such a way with your artistry that I absolutely love. And so I just want to thank you, Ms. Vavi, for coming on today.
I appreciate it.
It has been such a pleasure. I'm so glad that
I feel like we could talk for hours.
Girl, I feel like I have like more things to.
I'm about to come back.
Girl, come on back, okay? Anyway, you guys, once again, it is your girl, Coffee B. I have Miss Vavi here. Thank you guys for tuning in with me. And like I always say, keep showing up. Keep speaking up. Keep shining. The culture needs you. From my mic to your heart, this is Coffee B signing off with love.
Lay their hearts for us to see in the Culture Corner where we're all free. Culture Corner, tell your tale today. Voices rise.